Hello, welcome to the new video The Love of Milim and Rimuru by BenGrem1234. Chapter 36. The opening festival. 1 week has passed and it was now time for the opening festival. Everyone was busy and the Jura Forest Federation was busting with life. This was an opening festival in celebration of the establishment of the Kingdom of Tempest and the engagement of Rimuru and Milim. There were many stalls that were set up in the kingdom and many monsters and merchants were managing the stalls. Many nobles were coming to Tempest City in preparation for tomorrow's engagement party. Some of Rimuru's subordinates like Carrera, Gabiru, Shien and Vesta have their own stall which they decided to open. Let's look at what each of them were doing in their stalls. With Carrera pleaded with Rimuru to allow her to open her own stall. She wanted to open a stall for arm wrestling match. Rimuru permitted her to carry on with what she wants and she did just that. Step right up, people. If any of you can beat me in an arm wrestling match, you will be rewarded a total sum of 100 gold coin, Carrera shouted. Many crowds gathered around to see who would take the challenge. Are you adventurers pussies? Not feeling confident about challenging a lady like myself? Carrera taunted them. I will take the challenge. Stand back, people, and see how a real man puts a girl in her place, a male adventurer said. He has a buffed body and his aura showed that he was no weak adventurer. Isn't that Kibao? The man who slew that dragon single-handedly? I heard that he has been promoted to S-class adventurer. If that is true, isn't it overkill for him to face that lady? Well, she was the one who challenged everyone in the crowd, so. And so, the murmuring continued in the crowd. Carrera smiled when she saw the man who accepted her challenge. I like your spirit, adventurer. Just pay 1 silver coin to get registered. If you beat me in arm wrestling, you will win a total of 100 gold coin. Kibo smiled. Nice and simple. I like that. So he paid the money and got ready to begin the arm wrestling. Carrera also got into position and both of them connected their arms together. Let's start at 3, 2, 1 and begin, Carrera said before the match began. Kibo used all his might to try and push Carrera's hand down, but her hand did not even flinch. He was even using strengthening magic to power himself. But Carrera's hand just won't budge. Eventually, Carrera got bored and in one fell swoop, brought down Kibo's hand and won the match. The crowd began to cheer as they saw Carrera easily won her match with the S-rank adventurer. Many adventurers were eager to test their strength against Carrera after witnessing how strong she is. Come on, people. I accept all challenges, Carrera said to the crowd of people gathered. And just like that, Carrera became famous as the unbeatable girl in arm wrestling. With Shien opened a stand that sells different kinds of food. She was hoping to prove Shuna wrong about her cooking being good. The reason is because Shuna kicked her out of the kitchen when she tried to help to prepare the foods for the engagement party. Shuna told her that if she can manage to sell a full pot of her food during the festival, she would be allowed back to the kitchen. That was the plan, but reality says otherwise. Shuna is currently preparing a pot of food in her stall with a tied-up Benimaru seating in a chair outside her stall. Shien, please, think about what you are trying to do, Benimaru pleaded with her. Don't worry, Benimaru. I've been practicing my cooking skills lately and I'm confident in this dish, Shien said with pride. Benimaru looked at the pot and paled. Benimaru was screwed. He was just trying to keep an eye on Shien as Rimuru ordered him to when she kidnapped him and tied him to a seat. Shien insisted that he will be her taster for the foods she will sell without giving Benimaru any chance to object. Benimaru tried to break the ropes that was used on him, but Shien used her unique skill to change the properties of the rope. Now the rope was as hard as Rimuru multi-barrier. Benimaru had no choice than to beg her to spare him. It is done. Here, have some. Shien places a plate of her dish in front of Benimaru. Benimaru looked at the calamity in front of him with a paled face. So this is how I die. It was a short life, but it was fun. I wish I had tell Shuna how proud of a brother I am of her. What a life I have lived. Farewell world and hello afterlife, Benimaru thought to himself with acceptance. And so, Benimaru's life came to an end from being forced to eat Shien's cooking. Many bystanders avoided Shien's stall in order not to be the next victim of Shien's cooking. Many of Rimuru's subordinates were busy enjoying the festival. Gabiru and Vesta were doing a science presentation. Veldora opened a takoyaki stall and it was quite popular. Ultima was making sure that no one caused any troubles in the city. Shuna and the other cooks were in the kitchen making a masterpiece for tomorrow's party. Everyone was enjoying themselves in the party except for Rimuru. Currently, Rimuru is seating at his throne greeting all the nobles and important people who accepted his invitation. By his side is Diablo and Testarossa acting as his bodyguard and secretary. He was told that he should not meet Milim until tomorrow, which is why he was the only one doing the greetings. He has greeted a lot of nobles who thought they could use this opportunity to gain favor with him. Frankly speaking, he was exhausted from all the greeting. "Who's next, Diablo?" Rimuru asked in a tired voice. "The next is King Gazel and his companions," Diablo said while looking at the list in his hands. "Send them in then," Rimuru said. After he said that, the huge door to the throne room was opened and King Gazel along with his companions entered the throne room. "Greetings, Rimuru. It's been a while and congratulations on your engagement," Gazel said in a friendly manner. Rimuru smiled. "Thanks and welcome. I'm glad you could make it." "Oh, I would miss this party for the world. It's not every day that two demon lords get married, you know," Gazel said in a joking manner. Rimuru laughed. "That's true. I might be the first one in history, wouldn't you say?" "So true. I would like to stay and keep charting, but I'm exhausted from my trip to your city," Gazel told him. Rimuru nodded. "I understand." Moss. He called Moss appeared immediately. Rimuru called for his name, which surprised Gazel and his companions. "Please escort King Gazel and his companions to the hotel lodging we have prepared for them," Rimuru instructed him. "As you command, my lord," Moss replied. Moss gestured for Gazel and the rest to follow him out of the throne room, which they did. They left the throne room, leaving Rimuru to sit in his seat once again in a tired way. "How many left?" Rimuru asked. "Just one more, my lord. It is the embassy of Thalian Empire," Diablo answered. "My lord, it seems that the Emperor of Thalian is also with them. It is causing quite a huge uproar in the city," Testarossa said. "Really? Is she a big deal or something?" Rimuru asked. "From what I heard, the Emperor doesn't make an appearance often and is hardly seen. Only few have ever laid their eyes on her in their lifetime," Testarossa explained. "Well, don't keep the Emperor waiting. Send her in," Rimuru said. The huge door of the throne room opened and a very beautiful elf lady along with her many bodyguards walked into the throne room and approached Rimuru. The elf lady and her guards reached Rimuru, who was seating on his throne. "Greetings, Demon Lord Rimuru, leader of the Jura Forest. My name is Elmesia Elru Thalian and I am the Emperor of Thalian." Elmesia introduced herself. Rimuru stood up from his throne. "Greetings, Emperor of Thalian. My name is Rimuru Tempest and I am pleased that you accepted my invitation." Elmesia looked at Diablo and Testarossa and then back to Rimuru. "I have heard tales about your powers, but to think you have two primordial demons as subordinates. You truly are a wonder, Rimuru Tempest." Rimuru smiled. "I'll take that as a compliment. I'm just as surprised as you. Is not every day one meets an introverted emperor." Elmesia's face turned red from embarrassment. "I'm not an introvert." "Really, 'cause I heard that you are rarely seen even in your own kingdom," Rimuru said with a shrug. "Well, I have to keep up my image, you know. If I let everyone see me, then people will start spreading rumors about me, which I don't like," Elmesia said with a pout. Rimuru laughed. "I was just kidding, Emperor Elmesia, though, you should be more relaxed around me now, right?" Elmesia looked at Rimuru with a small smile. "Indeed. You know, you are nothing like the rumors I've heard about you." "Really? What is your opinion about me now?" Rimuru asked her. "I will make a judgment when I get to know you more. Truly, it is an honor to be in the presence of a new true dragon." "Rimuru, I look forward to seeing you and your bride tomorrow," Elmesia said to him. Rimuru scratched his hair in embarrassment. Like wise Elmesia, he turned to Testarossa. "Testarossa, please show them to the hotel that was prepared for them." "As you wish, my lord," Testarossa said with a bow. She turned to Elmesia and her guards and asked them to follow her. Elmesia and her guards left the throne room and followed Testarossa, leaving Rimuru alone with Diablo. "So tomorrow is the day," Rimuru said. "Are you nervous, my lord?" Diablo asked. "A little. I wonder what Milim is doing," Rimuru said to himself. With Milim was in her and Rimuru's room crying while Frey is trying to comfort her. "Why can't they let me eat? I'm really dying of hunger here," Milim said with tears. Frey sighed. "Milim-chan, I've explained this many times. If you eat too much, the dress that was prepared for you tomorrow will not fit you anymore. But I'm so hungry and the food that was given to me was so little. At this rate, I will die of starvation before my engagement party, Milim said to Frey. Just endure it a little longer, Milim. Don't you want to see Rimuru's reaction when he sees you in your dress? Frey asked her. Milim imagined Rimuru and smiled. She really wanted him to see her in that dress, but the torture was too much for her. Milim sighed as she cleaned her eyes. I guess I could wait until tomorrow. Just know that I'm only doing this for Rimuru. Frey smiled and hugged Milim. Good girl. I'm so proud of how mature you are. Milim hugged her back and they stayed like that for a while. And so, everyone was in anticipation for the engagement party tomorrow. Both the good and the bad. All will finally be decided in the engagement party tomorrow. What could Rimuru be thinking to do in the engagement party? Who knows, but it will be revealed in tomorrow's party.